In part 2 of our series on the Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea, MasidPH proudly presents the Battle of Hill Eerie, the story of how a young Lieutenant Fidel Ramos led a 44-man reconnaissance and attack team in capturing a Chinese-occupied military outpost during the Korean War. Hill Eerie, or Eerie Hill, found 16 kilometers west of Chorwon, was a heavily entrenched military outpost fortified with bunkers and communication trenches controlled by the Chinese Red Army. The outpost was situated about 1.6 kilometers north of the United Nations main line of resistance and about 1.61 kilometers south of the enemy's line of resistance. Several battles took place on Hill Eerie between March to May 1952, with control of the outpost changing hands numerous times. In March, Eerie Hill was the responsibility of the United States Army's 45th Infantry Division, Company K, 179th Infantry Regiment, commanded by Captain Max Clark. About a month later, orders to retake the hill was handed over to the Philippines' 20th Battalion Combat Team, commanded by Colonel Salvador Abcede. The Filipinos' first encounter at Hill Eerie was on May 18, 1952. When a Philippine unit on patrol engaged in a brief skirmish that resulted in 1 enemy killed and 2 wounded, with 8 of the remaining enemy soldiers fleeing northward. Later that afternoon, an attack led by Lieutenant Rodolfo Maestro left 28 enemy troops killed, with no losses on the Philippine side. The next day on May 19, the 20th Battalion mounted another attack that lasted about an hour and a half and saw 23 enemy troops killed while the Filipinos suffered no casualties. Abcede's men attempted 9 missions to retake Eerie Hill, but not a single mission succeeded in penetrating the enemy's defense. The Chinese withstood every attack and remained in control of the outpost. Colonel Abcede, hell-bent on recapturing Eerie Hill due to its strategic location, ordered Operations Officer Major Felizardo Tanabe to devise a plan to retake the hill. Taking back control of the outpost meant regaining the upper hand, as it held a commanding view of all the connecting roadways below. Abcede assembled a select 44-man reconnaissance and assault team that would infiltrate the camp with the aid of air support, tank support, and artillery fire. Handpicked to lead the mission was a 24-year-old West Point graduate, Lieutenant Fidel Ramos. Ramos divided his men into 4 units, a scout team of 11 headed by Corporal Jose Palis, a 13-man sniper team led by Lieutenant Jesus Dizon, a forward observer team led by 2nd Lieutenant Cosme Acosta, and a rifle team led by Sergeant Cipriano Drapeza. Also joining the assault was 1 radio operator, 1 messenger, and 1 medical aidman. On May 21 at 4:07 a.m., Ramos and his men set forth on their mission under the cover of darkness and crawled through rice paddies to reach their target destination. After 2 long hours, the team finally arrived at an irrigation ditch about 400 meters below the Chinese outpost. Above, the Chinese defended the outpost with artillery, mortars, and heavy machine guns, while the Filipinos carried M1 Garand rifles, bayonets, sniper rifles, and light machine guns. Overhead, the US Air Force commenced operations with 7 F-86 Sabre fighter bombers, dropping napalm on the heavily fortified outpost. Following the airstrike, Ramos radioed headquarters to begin the next phase with a barrage of heavy artillery fire. Ramos quickly surveyed the area and found an opening through the blasted barbed wire defenses. He ordered his men to launch an attack at that part of the hill and immediately radioed headquarters to cease firing. 2 Chaffee tanks provided fire support as Lieutenant Ramos and the 11-man scout team headed by Corporal Palis infiltrated the blasted barbed wire via the right side of the hill, while Sergeant Drapeza and his rifle team attacked from the left side. At a nearby hill, the sniper team of Lieutenant Dizon provided cover as the attack team began their assault on the camp. Inside the camp, the Filipinos were met with heavy enemy gunfire and grenade explosions. But managed to charge forward towards the first bunker. The Filipinos attacked with grenades to overwhelm the defenders. Enemy troops in the next bunker immediately responded with heavy fire. The Filipinos ducked for cover, but 1 soldier was hit. 2 of Ramos's men then charged towards the second bunker and threw grenades. This forced 2 of the enemy soldiers to rush out and counterattack. But Ramos, who was a few meters away, quickly replied with heavy fire. With Palis and his men running out of grenades, Ramos ordered his 2-man demolition team to destroy the 2 bunkers with satchel charges. While preparing the explosives, enemy troops in a connecting trench some 200 meters away suddenly opened fire. A startled Ramos and company dove for cover as fighting broke out anew. 2 enemy soldiers attempted to throw grenades but were gunned down before they could do so. The Filipinos then charged into the trenches to fight using their bayonets. A nearby enemy machine gun nest was also quickly dealt with by the sniper team of Lieutenant Dizon. Overwhelmed by the assault, the remaining Chinese soldiers retreated. Lieutenant Ramos once again radioed headquarters and requested artillery fire to make sure the area was clear of enemy forces. The attack on Hill Eerie lasted 2 hours. The Battle of Hill Eerie was the 3rd major victory of the Filipinos against the Chinese Communist forces in the Korean War. The Filipinos would later rename the camp Molina Hill in honor of fellow 20th Battalion Combat Team member Corporal Liberato Molina, who was declared missing in action during a previous encounter at Eerie Hill. Out of the 44 Filipino soldiers that took part in the mission, only 1 was wounded while 16 Chinese were killed in action. 40 years later, 2nd Lieutenant Fidel Ramos, who successfully led the mission to secure the outpost on Hill Eerie, would take his oath as the 12th President of the Republic of the Philippines. Did you like our story? Are there other tales of Filipino heroism you want us to make? Let us know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to MasidPH. Thanks for watching and see you next time.